Hello, and welcome to another episode of One Take with me, Tranna Wintour. 5 or so minutes of unedited discussion about today's topic, which is the Canadian entertainment industry. And I don't really feel like I have a lot to say about this particular topic. Um, for those of you who are not in Canada, basically, the sentiment is that it's very hard for artists and creative people to make a living off of their creative work in Canada because we don't really have a star system the way that many other countries do. Most of the entertainment that is consumed here in Canada is from the US primarily, and I guess a little bit from the UK as well. But US culture and US entertainment really dominates here because we're so close to the US, we share that border. US entertainment dominates the whole world. I mean, if you make it big in the US, you've basically made it big internationally, which is obviously not the same for Canada. If you make it big in Canada, that's great, but you have to fight hard to take things to the next level and become internationally renowned. But I guess that's not always the goal for all entertainers. I think for me, and I've been performing for about 2 years now, and I'm based in Montreal, and Montreal is a whole different scene because we have an English side of things and a French side of things, and it's two very different realities. Quebec as a province very much has its own star system, and so francophone entertainers based in Quebec can make a very good living off of their work if they make it. It's extra hard for Anglophone entertainers to do anything in this city. And it is what it is. I don't really direct my energy towards that. I am really focused on my own creative work and building a relationship with my audience. And I feel like that's one of the great things about social media is that it allows you to connect with an international audience without even necessarily leaving your home. It all depends, of course, on how you use social media. And I was asked this in an interview recently, how do I use social media? And I really see my social media, my Twitter, my Facebook, my Instagram, as an extension of the work that I do on stage. So for me, social media is not about telling people what I ate for breakfast or what emotions I'm experiencing in the day. It's not about necessarily sharing personal things about me. It's about using social media as a stage, as a canvas, as an opportunity to create and write material that often gets worked into my act on stage. And so basically what it comes down to is that I treat my social media as a kind of entertainment, and that has allowed people from all over the world to experience my work in a different format because obviously they can't see me live, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful that I've been able to connect with people from so many different places, from so many different backgrounds, and that we can connect and share creative work in this way. I'm getting a little bit off topic, I know, but it's just, again, I don't have a whole lot to say about the Canadian entertainment industry. Yeah, it's a struggle. Canadian artists don't make a lot of money, especially not compared to our US counterparts. Very often, for a Canadian entertainer to succeed, you need to leave the country, you need to get to the US, but that's a whole complicated situation. It is so difficult for performers to get to the US and work there in terms of getting a visa and all of the paperwork sorted out. It's a fucking nightmare. So I feel like for me, at some point, it might be inevitable. Some kind of move might be inevitable. A lot of comedians from Montreal moved to Toronto because it's a bigger scene. There's more opportunity, but I love Montreal. I've grown up here. This is where I still live. This is where my heart is. This is where my heart will always be. No matter how much I have a love-hate relationship with this city, and there's a lot of things that I hate living here, but I think that anyone hates things about wherever they live, especially if they've been living there for a long time. I'm just very grateful to be performing, and whether it's on stage in a comedy club, whether you're performing in front of 100 people or 5 people, for me the opportunity to get up on stage is an honor and a privilege, and it's something that I never take for granted. I believe so much in honoring the relationship between performer and audience. It's so sacred to me. So, I don't really, I'm not too concerned with the challenges and the difficulties that Canadian entertainers face. I choose to focus my energy in my work, in the audience that I have, in the relationship that I have with my audience. And that's where I'm going to keep my energy and let things unfold as they will. I feel like that's my best bet. And one thing that I do need to add, when talking about Canadian entertainment, especially the Montreal comedy scene, is that people are so genuinely supportive of one another. Of course, there's an underlying competition, if you will, because everyone is sort of aiming for the same thing, and we go up against each other for a lot of the same jobs and a lot of the same work, but through it all, people are so genuinely supportive of one another. The arts and entertainment scene in Montreal, especially on the Anglo side, I can't speak for the French side because I haven't experienced it, but on the Anglo side, there is very much this sense of community among the performers, and I'm so honored to be a part of that. So I'd like to end this by saying that, if there's something that we need to do collectively as a country, it's so important to support your local artists. Go see their shows. Go buy their merch when you go see their shows. Tell your friends to go see their shows. Like, we need to invest in the talent here because there is so much fucking talent in Canada. It is insane. And it definitely deserves more than it gets. So I'll leave you with that. Hope you're having a great weekend. And I'll see you very soon. Bye.